Welcome back to Curbrash. A pleasure to have you back. It's been a week. We skipped a week, but we're here and you're stuck with us. So it's you know, oh happy days. Just quick note. It's just me and Nick this time. Aaron's gonna be on for more technical stuff going forward, but you will probably see him again. Don't worry. But for now, you're stuck with the two of us. So basically, the not the brains of the operation between the two of us. So
Voice of reason is gone.
yeah. The voice of reason is gone. Yeah, you just got like emotional instability left. So
Yeah.
emotional instability and autism kind of mixed together. So um it's kind of we wanted to jump in the first one. It's kind of serious, but we have trouble taking things seriously. If not sure if it's made international news, I doubt it, but at least if you live in Canada or in the Toronto area especially, there was a group of young boys. Maybe there was a girl in there, but there was a group of young people. There was actually 6 of them piled into a G35 coupe, if you can believe. Now, we've always hated the G35 coupe as a concept because it just attracts the worst people. I equate it to once upon a time, it was clapped out Honda Civics, and they've sort of gone away. And now the ones that are left are generally nicer, on the nicer end, if they are still there, or they're rat rods. But now all the young kids, they moved on to the G35 because it's rear-wheel drive. It's allegedly 300 horsepower, although many of those horses have escaped. And you know, I think it looks like a blobfish. Personally, I think it's ugly as shit. But some people think it's attractive. So
I I think for its time, it was fine,
hmm,
considering what else was available at that time, but it has not aged well at all.
I think I
It has aged horribly.
I've always thought it was ugly. I will agree that in its time it was a little less ugly, but knowing now, like, sort of where we're at in the world, yeah, it's really hard to justify,
Yeah.
and they're
I
commanding prices.
I feel like it's not just G35 sedans are arguably more of a menace
Oh,
than the
I agree.
coupes, just putting that out there. But it's VQs in general.
Yeah,
Anything with VQ in it, like a G or a Z, always owned by
always owned
an
by the
absolute
worst
menace.
people. Yeah,
Yeah.
for the uneducated, because we're friendly to newcomers. When somebody says VQ, it's Nissan Infiniti platforms. The 350Z, the 370Z counts as a VQ, right?
Yep.
The Infiniti G35 and its sister, the G35 sedan, which is the G35X, I believe, and then the G30.
No, the X is for all-wheel drive.
Oh, is it? Okay. Well, the
Yep.
G35 sedan and then the G37 and the G37 sedan would also fall into this.
And also the early Q50s.
Mm, I would say in
Before they got
spirit.
before they got the twin turbo, they had the regular like 3.7.
Mm. And do you think they're more or less insufferable to people that drive them now with the twin turbo? I think they're worse.
I feel like they're worse.
Yeah.
I feel like the Q50 twin turbo owners are worse to be around on the road.
Yeah.
I feel like the G35 and the Z owners are just more annoying because they just want to be loud.
Well, they want to be at car meets flexing, right? But you're
Yeah.
flexing like it's like flexing that you were able to buy a burger at McDonald's. Like people aren't impressed. That's great that you could, and we're happy you're here. But then you start talking about how the burger is so premium, and then
Yeah, it's like flexing a Big Mac when, like, I don't know, somebody's got 5 guys across the parking lot. Like, nobody
pretty
cares.
much it's actually where it could be flexing a Big Mac, and they'll do it like next to a nice steakhouse. We've got like low level supercars roll in. And they're like, yeah, but have you seen my G? I've seen it. I avoid it like the plague.
Always on replica wheels and
Yeah.
China coils. They all of them fucking spiky wheel lug nuts.
Oh, 100%. 100%. I saw one, I remember years ago, before we ever met. I saw one that was probably one of the best ones I've ever seen, to be clear. But yeah, exactly that. Spiky, spiky little lugs. And some kind of rep wheel with an insane amount of like dish on it. Like it was like, I don't know what it was, but it was like the most like Chinesium wheel. But they had put like a bottle of some description to be like, look how much dish, and I'm like, yeah, I guess. Like,
I fully respect the offsets that will fit under a stock body
sure.
Z or G, especially in the rear. Not really that nice when you're running ESRs
No.
or Rotas.
And they always get the worst tire because they've spent all their money on the Rotas, and then they've got to run Ling Longs or what have you.
Fucking Thunder Rollers.
Thunder Rollers. Apparently, there's a brand called Falcon tires. I didn't. Not Falcon. Oh my God, that's a real one. Shit, what are they called? It was a terrible name, and it sounds like Falcon. Oh, I'm gonna get heat for that one. It wasn't Falcon. It's Eagle. Eagle tires. That's what it was. That's why I got it confused.
Funnier because Goodyear calls their everything's Goodyear Eagle.
Yeah. No, I know, but I've seen a Chinesian brand that was Eagle tires. So, anyway, don't hate me, Falcon enjoyers. I love the way the RT660s look as well. But on that note, G35 kids. So we've got the lay of the land. We've got the lay of the land of who these people are. Now, we all agree on this. Anybody we know agrees on this. If you're doing a crime, don't be doing a crime. Do you know what I mean? Like, if you're already doing something illegal, the worst thing you can do...
One crime at a time.
One crime at a time. One crime. Do not double down. Do not... It's like a dip. You can only dip a chip one time. You do it twice, you're getting thrown out the party. So what would this be? Again, this is... People are going to get pissed at this point, but what does that mean for... what does that mean for us? What does that mean for this story? Well... red G35 pulled over by the police. I don't even know actually why it was pulled over. That's not the important part at this point. There were 6 people in the car. 6 people in a G35 coupe. So I think the officer pulled them over because you have 6 people on a good day with people with no legs, a four-seater vehicle. They're pulling these kids, all 16-year-olds, pulling them out of the car. Apparently there were 2 guns in the car, and at one point the second to last person decides he's going to shoot at the cop as he's pulling him out of the car. Now, there was body cam of this leaked, so it actually was leaked. I don't know if you know this, Nick. So there.
Yeah, no, I saw the video.
Yeah, but that was not intentionally released. Someone at the police station filmed it and leaked it. They didn't want that out there.
I didn't know that part, but I did see the video. Yeah.
I just saw that earlier, that it was actually not intentional. So, because I thought it was weird that it was a screen recording, but because we've all seen cop videos, they just released the body cam. But yeah, somebody's leaked this. So yeah, the kid turns around, starts firing.
I was gonna say, if this were the States, they would have just released the footage.
Oh, 100%, like 100%. And for that, I would say they should have. But I understand it's an active investigation. This happened on the 21st. The date of recording right now is the 24th
I think
of
the
April.
Kid died.
Oh, he died instant, like quickly.
Yeah.
What happens when you? I'm sorry for laughing. I'm only sorry because it sucks for anybody. Those cops likely maybe have kids. They sound a little older based on their voices, and I could imagine them. This is like someone their son's age maybe, or their daughter or whomever. That's not a nice experience to have to shoot a kid, right? In the same breath, if you are 16 and stupid enough to shoot at a cop, I have very little sympathy for you or your family.
If the hill you're going to die on is the inside of a G35 coupe, you deserve it at that point.
Do you know how they say, I don't know if this is true, but I've just heard it, that like if you
I don't
die,
wish it on anybody, but
no, if you die on
yourself.
Disney property, they like take you off the property before pronouncing you dead. Nick, if I ever die in a VQ of any description, you pull me out of that car. Where did he die? On the sidewalk. I will not haunt a G35. You will not. Send me to hell.
Working back to the cars we would not be caught dead in.
Yeah.
Anything with a VQ.
Anything with a VQ. Cars I would not like to die in. Anything with a VQ. Oh my god. No, but you know what? That's fucked. 1, that's fucked up. 2, apparently not the only gun in the vehicle. So 2 guns. So the driver had a gun, allegedly. Yep. This is what was released. Maybe incorrect. and then there was another gun in the back seat. You've got 6 people in a G35. 6 people. That's wild. I can't get 3 people into an FRS on a good day, and you've got 6 people in a coupe? Nuts. Secondly, feel bad for the officers. They're clearly upset at the end of that leaked video. They're trying to keep this kid alive. He dies. They just aired. Honestly, I just feel bad because he was young.
I can't fault them for being upset, but I mean,
no, of course, I feel bad because the cop had to shoot
fire on a cop. Like, what do you expect?
No. See, what I was gonna say was, but I think we should start shooting G35 drivers like when you pull them over, right? Like if you see,
just on site.
Yeah, like, like I just think it should be legal for you to air out any G35 driver. It's not that they're all bad. It's just that I can't let us take any chances. And when I come to power, I promise you that we'll crush all G35s.
It's like hunting season. Just for a few months every year, you can just open fire on VQ owners.
Yeah, I think that would be optimal.
You have to get a card for it, like a hunting license.
Yeah, I agree. And you only get one. That's the important thing. You get one, right? You can't just unload on all of them. There's limits to the hunting. Let's like deer. You can't just kill every deer.
You get one VQ powered car per season.
Yeah, no, I mean 2 if it's a sedan.
Pick wisely.
If you get 2, you can get 2 sedans or 1 coupe. That's the deal, because the sedans we know are worse, and they're a lot more out there. So we got to take care of the population, You think we're gonna get on a list for this one?
The sedans are always the ones going to takeovers. The coupes are always the ones bouncing off the red line at a parking lot meet. That's
true. So sedans are arguably putting more people in jeopardy.
Yes.
Yeah, so that makes sense. I saw one today, and I just couldn't resist. I just fucking.
One that lives around the corner from me.
Oh,
see it all the time.
I hate them. It's not this is the thing. It's not mechanically. The reason they're popular is because they're mechanically fairly capable, right? Like remove the culture from it. For the price you could get one for, they are decent cars. They're ugly as sin.
They're powerful. They drive well, and
and the rear wheel drive.
And they were cheap. I wouldn't say they're really cheap anymore, but people still keep going for them.
Well, now it's a weird status thing. It used to be it was an economy thing. Now it's like I got the G now. You know what I mean? So.
That's what floats their boat, I guess.
I don't know. I've heard, like, taking this mildly seriously, I have heard people say that it's a great first enthusiast car, which, again, if you're on the inside of the car, good, but outside, you look stupid.
Yeah, like for you, wonderful. Everybody else, not so nice.
Not so nice. It's like the Panamera from back in the day. Inside, great car. Outside, yick. Just yick.
Yeah.
But so this kid is dead. Which is I don't know. I don't want to do the thing where they go, there must be something wrong with his home life. I think some people just suck, and they get ideas from wherever they get them, and then they just do stupid shit.
I feel like some people just don't know how to say no to peer pressure, and I mean, you get what you get.
Yeah, I guess.
Take control of your life or deal with the consequences.
Yep, that's what it boils down to. But I do think it brings an interesting comment to, like, all of car. Okay, we used to be young once, believe it or not, and I definitely had ideas of what car culture was when I was younger that have changed as I got older. You were raised properly, so it's a bit of a different story, but you can see where I'm coming from, where, like, you kind of felt a little naughty.
I sort of got to see both sides of it.
Yeah,
it just became a really jaded, judgy asshole as a result.
Oh, I'm right there with you. I'm literally doing it. This is what we're doing right now. But I just feel like you remember, like, that feeling, like, sort of it's very specific. It's always night meets, obviously. Always generally places you're not supposed to be, where there might be an issue with the lot owner, and you get that little feeling, that little funny bubble in your stomach, where you're like, oh, maybe they will kick us out. Look at us. We're just a few outlaws here. They hate us because they ain't us, and shit like that. And I do admit to having that little funny bubbly feeling in my chest, like when I was 10 years younger. Now, not so much.
You see, that's not an experience that I've had.
No way.
I've never gone to the like, something's gonna go wrong at this meet, or we're gonna get kicked out of here. Sketchy nighttime car meets.
Really?
Every single one that I've gone to as far back as I can remember has been like a planned, organized, sanctioned, permission from the business owner meet.
That's amazing.
Precisely because I didn't want to look at the garbage that shows up to the unsanctioned, we're going to get kicked out of here nighttime car meets. Because I can see enough of that just driving on the 403. I don't need to.
Sure.
Because you got to remember where I live as well, right? Like, to get to those we're going to get kicked out of here meets, it's like 45 minutes to an hour for me.
Right.
I have to go out of my way to look at that. So
it's a valid point.
I'm just not going to.
I agree with you now as an adult, right, with a brain. And I want to say it's not even an adult really. It's a developed frontal lobe, let's call it. But when you're young, right, and you're like, you know, you're getting freedom and you're doing things, right, and you're just like, oh, I can get I'm a cool guy, you know, you get hassled by the police, but really they're just telling you like move it along, you know. So it's like a really low stakes interaction, and you can feel like Dominic Toretto. Oh yeah,
like I totally get it. It's just it's not something I've ever experienced because I've always just been like, that's just way too far out of my way.
Yeah.
To see what I'm going to see, and partially because like I didn't really start driving anything I would consider meet worthy until I was in my early 20s.
I still don't drive anything I consider meet worthy, but I
and at that point I was already kind of over it. Like,
that's fair. I think
I drive for the enjoyment of driving.
Mm-hmm. No, I do too.
And yeah, but it's like I'd much rather just go out and drive around alone than go to a parking lot meet, unless like you know, you or our friend group are just going to hang out somewhere. That's different. But
yeah, but that's not a parking. We're talking like once upon a time, like we talked about this a couple podcasts ago.
No, like the Paloma meets.
The Paloma meet. That's what I was gonna say.
You gotta wear a vest.
You gotta wear a vest. Standard. It's like how you have to wear like a safety vest, like, you know, when you're going onto a job site. When you go to the Paloma meet, they actually hand out bulletproof vests. You know.
Yeah.
You know, that's the way it is, unfortunately. So, and there's always, it's like a roulette thing. They do this roulette thing. I don't know if you know this. It's your car might be evidence. So if you win, you get to interact with the cops way longer than you want to. It's not a great prize, but somebody does win it.
Yeah, and then the best part of it is as your prize, the cops then take your car for a couple of weeks and then give it back to you, and then as the like absolute cherry on top of the prize, this is like if you win like a car giveaway, this is like the cash prize they give you to pay the tax at the end, except instead of a cash prize, you then have to pay to fix the bullet holes that are in your car.
Yeah, because insurance apparently won't cover it, so it's pretty good. Whole jokes aside, I don't like, okay, so like now we're more, well, you never did it apparently, so I have an automotive experience that you haven't had, which is cool. That's a good win for me. But there is a certain, like, it attracts a certain crowd. It attracts, and this is car culture as a whole, and I think you'll agree, it attracts posers, which we agree pretty much across the board. And I like, there's also, because we have some notes, there's also like, it attracts certain like bad seeds, like there's people who go to car meets because they like cars, and they like talking about cars, and they like being a little bit naughty. They're not supposed to be doing that, but they're gonna do it anyway. I'm gonna go on a little fast. And then there's like a intersection of culture, and then there's people who go to car meets because they're not great people, and they see them as like a breeding ground for like nefarious activity. And that's sort of what these kids are.
They're not hard enough to be in organized crime, but they'll just go hang out at a car meet because those people are kind of outlawish.
Yeah, and have guns in their car, and then shoot at a cop. It's not that.
I will say, like, the closest that I've probably been to like that feeling you describe of like, oh, the police are gonna kick us out, is probably like seeing somebody pulled over and like downshifting and flooring it past the cop, because it's like, oh, he can chase me, but he probably won't because he's just gonna keep writing that ticket.
Yep. There's that really old super speeders video. I think you know what I'm talking about, where they're
The
trying to get a
GT40
ticket.
video.
Not the
One of the
GT40
oh,
video.
Matt Farah and Rob Ferretti were like the
Yeah.
first to get a ticket challenge.
Yeah, and then he blows past a pulled over Matt Farah, and the cop throws him his license, and he's like, "Oh, I got bigger fish to fry. Like, I gotta go get that guy." And Matt Farah's like, "What?" That's a
Yeah,
pretty fucking
which like it only worked because of the challenge because Rob stopped. Because like realistically, you could just
stay in
if
it.
you if you just stay in it for a little bit, like he's not catching up to you. But then even like I forget, I think Matt lost that challenge and had to pay both tickets. And
Yeah.
the ticket he got was like for passing somebody on the shoulder.
Yeah, I think he didn't end up
Which
getting the ticket.
He actually did a follow-up video to that like many years later explaining
really?
like how difficult that video made his life. And apparently the cop that like pulled him over and then left to chase Rob got fired because of it.
Really?
Yeah.
What? I didn't know about any of this.
Yeah, it's on VinWiki actually.
Really?
We're plugging a channel that doesn't even exist, but
they'll never know we exist.
Yeah.
No, but wow, I didn't realize that was that big a deal.
Yeah, he like explained the whole thing. It was probably like 5 years ago now at this point, because the original like first to get a ticket challenge was
Like 2011, 2012.
12 years ago.
Yeah, fuck, we're old. There are viewers of not our podcast, but there are viewers of VinWiki who are younger than that video. Think about it.
Yeah.
Yeah, fuck.
Yeah. I wonder how many people like don't even know about the GT40 video.
I feel like it's a really because this is a bit of a tangent, but I'm happy to go down it. There's this like really interesting thing that's happening like on Instagram and like TikTok and stuff, where old content that people really generally aren't aware of is like being recycled because it's like being shown to a new audience, and this is where these people, the younger kids generally are. They're on TikTok, they're on Instagram, not so much on YouTube. Some of them are, but a lot of them are there, right? So like I saw a video of like, oh my god, it was like a Scene Anners video, if you remember that guy. Like a fucking, there's this he's like a gaming YouTuber, and he had this really funny video from 2011, and I saw it recycled this year, posted like 2 months ago, and I'm like, whoa, yeah, like, I don't know, man.
Yeah, no, I'm not on TikTok. I have Instagram, but I'm not on TikTok, so I don't really know what comes up on there. But like,
yeah,
I mean, if that stuff's coming up, is cool because like I don't know. I personally think like the super speeders, like GT40 videos and all those stuff from back then are like
the rally stuff,
really cool. Like they're fun to watch, but it's like it's cool to get an insight into that like era of car culture, like Mischief TV and it was like the whole Too Fast Too Real video series, which was like the street racing scene in New York as opposed to California.
I really liked that. I think it was a VinWiki, actually, plugging VinWiki again, but like it was a VinWiki where the Mischief guys were discussing sneaking into the Gumball rally.
Who the Mischief TV guys, that the ones who actually went on the rally are Dustin, and I think the other guy's name is Dado, and they had like a supercharged E36 M3.
Yeah, the yellow one.
Which like, when you consider the time that video was made, that was a pretty high end build.
Yeah.
But like you can actually watch the whole like Gumball 3000 video on YouTube, like the full hour and whatever. It's I love it personally, but it's like it's cool to see that era of like what people were bringing on those rallies, because like there's some cars in there that people are just like beating along this rally that today you'd be like nobody would put miles on one. Like there was an F50 that just the whole front had the paint peeled off from the rock chips.
Dude, that is wild. I do remember that. There's a lot of stuff that didn't used to be this is gonna be worth a lot of money someday. Like people just drove them.
Yeah, like the F50. Like I'm not gonna say it was worthless, but it's like today the F50 is like a multi-million-dollar car. Back then it was like, a couple $100,000.
Well, remember, and but like for the viewer, remember that like wasn't that long ago that the original 2005 Ford GT was worth, like, I think they bottomed out at 115 grand. Like, they were sitting. Nobody fucking wanted
Yeah,
them.
they were in like the low to mid 100s at one point for like an honest to god supercar.
Yeah, no, like something that now is, what are they? I haven't looked, but what do you know what they're trending at now?
Oh, they're easily in like the 400,000, 500,000 plus
That's
range,
crazy.
and like US dollars now.
Holy shit! Yeah,
just old Ferrari 355s were not dirt cheap, but like cheap at one point. 348s.
Yeah, I remember when the 355s were cheap.
Yeah, even 360s for a long time were like reasonably priced for, again, like it's a supercar.
Yeah, I remember seeing 360s bottom out. Obviously, this is money of that time, 15 years ago, but I did see them bottom out like low 60s at one point. So obviously that's an F1 gearbox, but like it doesn't matter. It's a fucking 360. Who cares? Like,
well, like even if like an F1 was 60 and you could get a 6-speed for like, I don't know, 85, like,
yeah,
that's still pretty good.
Dude, that's the thing I don't really get about it all, is because like obviously there are people who, the way this happens, there's a few ways, but like these prices trend upward and people like continue to buy and then they maintain these prices. I'm just thinking to myself, who the fuck has this kind of money? Like, I'm like, yeah, I'll pay $500,000 for a Ford GT. What? Like it's got like an old fucking truck motor in it with a supercharger. Like, I thought it made at $150K. They're sitting on dealer lots, and then somehow that changes, and now everybody has money for them. You know what I mean? It's crazy.
It's like they're moving into another echelon of collector, right?
Yeah.
Like these cars, they used to be like, you know, if you worked real hard and were smart with your money and saved up, like you could reasonably be like, all right, I'm going to, get a 360 as my retirement gift to myself or something.
Yeah. You use retirement gift, but yeah.
Or like maybe a Ford GT or something like that. But that doesn't happen anymore.
Well, no, all these cars are also trending upwards. Like, just the general pricing from manufacturers is skyrocketing.
Yeah, like everything has shifted upwards. Now it's like, oh, maybe I can get myself a Mustang GT.
Yeah.
But then at the same time, it's like the Mustang GT of today would spank a 360.
Yeah, big time. I mean, like, it's like we talked about, and then you rightly corrected me, but like, even like the Golf R is punching really high. If you go 10 years ago, it's punching crazy high compared to the stuff even from back then. Think about like what we talked about, the 2012 and prior Mustang. Their fucking V8 made like what, 300 something, and then the new V6s,
20 horsepower,
320 horsepower.
The V6s came out
the 305.
I forget what they called those V6s.
Oh, I don't remember.
It wasn't the same. But regardless, it's irrelevant. But no, the V6s came out with like 330 or something.
I thought I could
like
swear
they made more power than the prior V8s.
More than 300 is the point, which is fucking hilarious. What were they like? They're like a 3.5 liter, or are they a?
Remember, I think it was 3.7.
Oh, okay, that makes more sense. Yeah, so basically a VQ, but
they sounded like them.
Yeah, and now the 2-liter Mustangs sound worse. So
yeah.
Anyway, yeah, stuff's just trending upward, right? And that's the thing, is like, affordable power has never been more affordable. Like, we make fun, but like there's a reason why, like, these kids are buying like 400 horsepower fucking Q50s. They're crazy cheap. You can afford it.
Never been more accessible, but it's at the expense of, I don't want to say at the expense of enjoyment, but at the expense of like feel.
Yeah, no, I agree.
It's very accessible, but like it's so easy to go fast that it's so easy to be unaware of how fast you're going.
Yeah, well, that's also the argument against electric vehicles, is that people are having more and more like insane speed at their fingertip, just in a straight line, obviously, but like they have this crazy speed at their fingertips. It's accessible to so many people. A lot of people will have it in a vehicle and they don't even realize that their car will do that kind of fucking movement. And passing is great, and I have a comment about that. But literally the other night, and I didn't post this because I was a little like, you know what, I'm not gonna let it ruin my night. But it did. I was driving on the highway, and I'm like I'm getting annoyed because I'm stuck behind people. It's a dead end, middle of the night. The type of people who are like, oh yes, I'm going 100, and
Yeah,
they're
yeah,
like,
no,
it's midnight, and there's 3 of us, so either move or I'm gonna pass on the right, and I genuinely don't give a shit. So I passed on the right, and I was like, I'm feeling better now. There was one car next to me and a very small gap between us, and I see behind me lights coming up real fast, really fast. And very quickly, I realize that he's going to cut between me and this car on my left. And there's probably enough of a gap, but if you're doing a $170, which is what he was doing, kilometers an hour, it's going to be real tight. Like you're not threading that needle. So I instinctively move almost halfway out of my lane because I'm like, I already see what's happening. If I hadn't moved out of my lane, he would have hit me. 100% he would have hit me. And you want to guess? I'll give you 2 guesses as to what kind of vehicle it was. We've talked about it before.
Is it a Gixxer?
A what?
GSXR, like a bike?
No, it wasn't a bike. It was a car. So I'll give you your 2 guesses.
All right, 2 guesses for a car. I'm going to go with either one of our favorite VQ powered vehicles or a 340i.
You got it, 340i. Yes. No, of course it was, because why wouldn't it be? Why wouldn't it be? You motherfucker. I had the thought in my head at that moment, do I chase him? And then me being a mature adult, I went, it's not worth it. But it did upset me because if I hadn't have moved, I promise you, I would have been hit because he was still in my lane when he passed me, like partially. So if that was you,
sorry, there was a lane between you and the car on your left.
No, there was not a
lane.
Or
there was not a lane between you two, and there clearly was not enough room between you two, but Correct. He was going to go for it anyways.
He was going to... Yeah. I was far enough ahead that he could... If he was going the speed limit, I could see him kind of cutting across and being in front of the car in the left lane and me being in the middle lane,
Okay, I understand now. But I see how you were positioned.
He came in at like 170. And my thought is like, there's no fucking way. There's no fucking way. And honestly, now that I'm thinking about it, there were 3 lanes. He could conceivably have gone to the right of me, and he didn't, which is even more annoying and frustrating. I think I'm just realizing this now. So like
swimmer activities.
That's the first it's swimmer activity. So if that was you traveling south on the 427 on Saturday before Easter, fuck you. You're a piece of shit, and I can't wait for you to get shot by the cops. So fuck off. Asshole.
It's always a 340 or a VQ.
It's always a and this actually probably it's a good segue because a 340 car tip either bought by a kid who has a job at a gas station and he's able to make the payments, and there might be respectful ones, but very few. Or we want to talk about this trust fund kids. Now, we don't like trust fund kids, and that's partially because neither of us is a trust fund kid. That's for starters.
Yep. Yeah, like I'll preface this by saying I don't inherently have anything against trust fund kids. If you're a trust fund kid and your whole thing is, and you just live up to it and be like, fuck it, I'm a trust fund kid, I live off my parents' money, whatever. Like, yeah, go ahead.
Wish it were me, but it is what it is.
Yeah, like wish it were me, shouts out, I'm glad things are going well for you. But trust fund kid that tries to hide that it's their parents' money, there's the special place in hell for those ones.
It's trust fund behavior. Actually, I met one at a meet. I forget what, I think he had actually just gotten a new to him FRS, and his dad had bought it for him. And he owned up to it, and he said, yeah, my dad bought me this car because I graduated high school. And I'm like, because you said that from the jump, like you owned up to it, there's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with that. That's fantastic that your dad bought you a nice car. Like, if you're going to buy a kid a sports car, if it were my kid, that's what I'm buying him 100%. He cannot fuck around too much with an FRS. But as long as you own up to it from the jump, we're already off on the right foot. But they don't. And we agree. They don't. They start and they give you a big spiel. So normally...
Yeah, they're like, oh, the fucking grind. I was day trading meme coins.
Yeah.
Or just it's always some stupid, entirely unbelievable shit.
Yeah. Day trading meme coin. I think much like how if you lose weight now, people will assume that it's like, you know, Ozempic or whatever. No, but you have to beat the charge now. If you have a bunch of money when you are a child, and you are a child if you're 16, people will immediately assume it's daddy money. You have to beat the charge. And if you come as someone, for example, who's injecting Ozempic, and you say some stupid shit about how, like, you know, you just walk like around the block every day and drink smoothies, no one's gonna believe you, and they'll know you're full of shit. In the same breath, if you come up and say that you traded meme coins, or you're the dude, you don't know, I was holding Bitcoin since I was 6 years old, like, we know you're full of shit. Already off to a bad start. Now, what is a favorite trust fund kid car? Because there's tiers, right? We agree that there's probably tiers to it, because there's trust fund kid.
There's tiers to it. I'm gonna say M3.
Mm-hmm.
RS5.
Ooh. Mm-hmm. What makes you go RS5 over an RS4?
It looks more expensive.
That's a good point.
Look if you pull them up, like a picture of each of them, the RS5, especially the performance pack one, just looks like a more expensive car.
I'm looking at them right now because we're talking about the newest, like newest of the new.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can see that. Are we talking
like it's just a little bit more in your face?
Yeah. No, I agree with you. It definitely is a bit more in your face. Okay. Either way, RS car.
RS5.
Mm-hmm.
Huracan.
This is upper echelon.
Yeah, this is upper echelon. Upper echelon trust fund kid Huracan.
Mm-hmm.
I'm
thinking R8 because they get a Huracan, but they could, you know, slightly less expensive.
No, I feel like they'd go for something different than an R8.
You think? Urus.
Yeah, I feel like an R8 is a little bit too much. Like, you got to know what it is.
I think a Urus is definitely in there.
Urus is trust fund kid, and
because I wasn't thinking
maybe G-Wagon.
Ooh, that's for the ladies. That's
for
the ladies. This is not meant to be sexist. It is sexist, but it's not meant to be sexist. If you drive a G-Wagon as a dude, like on purpose, it better be a Brabus. Otherwise, a little bit judgment. You know what I mean? Because Brabus they have the image brash, insane, like just fucking lunatics. That's their image. It's not necessarily true, but that's their image.
Mm-hmm.
Just a regular G63 wagon. You wanted a truck from this. I don't like it to begin with. You wanted a truck that was built in the 70s and they just forgot to stop making it. I don't think so. But that's just me.
I feel like the most prolific out of that whole list would probably be M3, RS5, and Urus.
M3 and RS5, because if you're a trust fund kid but you're not a daddy left me hundreds of millions of dollars trust fund kid, then you're probably in an M3 or an RS5.
Yeah, they're the most accessible trust fund kid car. Like, you could be like, my dad makes a couple $100,000 a year, all the way up to, we have a couple million coming in. The M3 and RS5 fill that whole whole echelon.
They would and trust fund. The people we're talking about, there may be some that do drive these, but like, it would never be like a oh, my dad bought me a GR86. No, like, it's never gonna be that. It's always up there.
No, it's always, I bought.
Oh yeah, you're right. Sorry, he day traded meme coins and bought himself an RS5. It's a ridiculous sentiment.
Yeah, conveniently enough, you'll never get to see the ownership and what name is on it.
But funny that you say that. Supra. I think Supra's in there.
Yeah, you know what? I think it does have a trust fund kid air to it. I could agree.
I'm not saying no. See, I'm not insulting you as much as I would like to.
No. I don't take it as an insult. I fully 100%. I think it could be a trust fund kid car.
Yeah, because it's got the pop culture presence to be a trust fund kid car. Yeah. I think. Yeah.
No, it does, and they'll just put like a Pandem kid on it or something.
Oh yeah, if even that, they'll just, like, stick some bullshit arrow on it, which is fine. It's a great
It's
car,
definitely a trust
but
fund car. I don't care because my name's on the ownership. So
yep, fair enough. Fair enough. Well, all this to say, oh, we had a couple examples we forgot to mention. So a couple years ago, and I'm gonna make sure that I leave links to all this stuff in the descriptions. A couple of years ago, there was a Porsche dealer in Oakville, sold a beautiful new 911. It was a 911.
I think it was either a Carrera S or a GTS.
Okay. Either
It
way,
was a fair while ago, so it was like a 991.1. So we're talking like early to mid 2010s.
yeah. Um, this gentleman or lady, we're not sure. There you could see the
It was a
GPS
gentleman.
data. Oh, it was definitely a gentleman. Okay.
Yeah, there's like pictures of them, but I can't find them right now.
Oh, we shouldn't post their face. But left the Porsche dealership in Oakville and went 400 feet and totaled their car into the side of a building. Just to prove the point.
For anybody who doesn't know where the Porsche Oakville dealership is, it's just off the highway on a service road, and 400 feet from the dealership there is not like a pure 90-degree right, but your only option is to go right, and off to the left is a parking lot with some industrial buildings. And they left the dealership and floored it to the end of that road and didn't have enough time to brake for the turn, so they just went into the parking lot and into the side of the building.
Yep. And that car was totaled 35 seconds into ownership.
Yep.
So, all of that to say, fucking skill issue, but but everybody's okay, so it's not a big deal. But that's a crazy video, and there's security footage, so we're gonna link that in the bottom because it's crazy to watch. To think that car, the salesman just shook that guy's hand, like not his hand is still warm. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I'd have to see if because like that whole accident, there was like a whole I feel like it was Renlist. It was like a Porsche forum thing on it that I can't find right this second, but there's like
CSI
footage
breakdown.
of the accident.
Yeah.
It was like the actual company that they crashed into started posting on the thread.
No way.
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, in fact, I think the footage that leaked from like it was the company themselves that posted the original video.
Oh my god. I mean, I figured, but like I didn't know that they were on the forum shit posting. That's fucking hilarious.
I'm pretty sure they are.
That's fucking sweet. If you are that company, whatever it is that you sell, you could sell fucking like baby elephants or something. We'll give you a Curbrash seal of approval. Keep shit posting when people crash into your fucking building. It's hard to. I think what we're trying to say is it's hard to feel bad for these people when like you have enough money to buy a brand new Porsche and drive it off the lot and crash it. My sympathy goes only so far.
It goes down very fast.
Yeah. And it's not just because it's an expensive car. It's not that. It's just, it's just the behavior. It's like a whole mix of things. It's kind of like when rich people or like celebrities complain about issues in their life, and you're kind of like, you pretend to be a cop for a living. So I don't feel that much sympathy for you when like, or like, have you, this is a bit of an aside, but like, have you ever seen,
my favorite one was like the best example of that was like all the celebrities during like COVID lockdown in their mansions.
God. Yeah.
Oh, my life is so hard. What do I even do in my 10,000 square foot home on multiple acres of land with swimming pools and jacuzzis? How will I ever survive this?
There was an article that was like Gwyneth Paltrow broke down and ate bread during COVID. What was your low point? And
no, she ate regular people food.
Someone was like, I lost my job and my fucking mom died. Like, these people are so out of touch. But it's really hard to feel bad for you, man. Like it's really hard to like. I don't know. Anyway, so I apologize if it's just like a woe is me thing for me. But like, you see these people who like. You could buy another one. Like, you could buy a person if you wanted. That's how much money you've got.
Yeah.
It's hard to feel bad.
And like, in all fairness, like a lot of them are asking for it.
A little bit. Do you think that's karmic?
If you don't know how to control it, and you try and drive it beyond what you're capable of doing, then you're on borrowed time. Like, something's gonna happen eventually. So I don't like you're kind of asking for it.
Yeah, I think that's the thing too, right? Is like we talked like what we were talking mentioning before with the EVs, right? Like it's giving people access to a ton of power, and I would be very shocked if there weren't some kind of uptick in accidents.
Yep, it's just like um the other trust fund kid who crashed his sister's McLaren into the Audi R8, which was also
Yes,
in Toronto.
link will be in the
There's
description.
also a video of that one.
There's a video. There's a video that he record or like his passenger records. I
His
think.
passenger recorded it.
Ugh. Yeah, they
Because
look exactly how you
I
think they
don't know if
look.
they actually had the traction control off in the car. It just looked like he tried to do a launch, and like McLaren, from my understanding, their traction control system is pretty liberal. Like it'll let you
Right.
do some pretty wild stuff without interfering. So, but either way, he obviously had no idea how to actually control the car, floored it from a stop, and crashed into, of all things, an Audi R8
Yeah.
and totaled them both.
What's hilarious? We were just watching before we started here. He narrowly avoids crashing into a Hyundai Elantra, which he could have. 15K easy, get out of jail. No, I take out the R8 too. Just double up, double it, and give it to somebody else, man.
He had the worst crash he could possibly have
In that scenario, yes,
in that scenario.
absolutely. No, it's. But this is the thing, right? This is they're
Yeah. And then he fled
young.
the scene.
Did he? Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah, there's
Seriously?
footage towards the end of the video of him like getting stuff out of the McLaren and just fucking off.
I did not
On
realize
foot.
that happened.
Yeah.
Oh my god. Yeah, better choice than to shoot at the cops, I guess, but still not a good choice. Oh fuck, eh. Okay, and then there was the last one, GG Exotics. This was a while ago though, right? Like that was years ago. That kid
Yeah,
crashed his
that one
dad's
was
Pagani.
Yeah, it was like 5 years ago. I don't know. His stuff is like the what I'd want to say like typical or like stereotypical. That's the word stereotypical trust fund kid.
Yeah.
And yeah, like he was driving a Pagani Huayra, which belonged to his dad, and there's a video of it out there somewhere. But like he crashed and he was on a straight road and just floored it, and like the Huayra, and I've never even been in the presence of a Huayra, but like there's plenty of videos and footage and information out there. Like they're powerful and fast and light
Yeah.
and rear wheel drive. So he just floored it and lost control on a straight road and hit like a tree.
Mm-hmm.
And it was like $1 million something in damage. I think they ended up sending the car back to Pagani in Italy and had it rebuilt. But it was like they put a video out after of him trying to like justify what happened and that it can't possibly be his fault and him not knowing what he was doing. And there was, I think, something about how there was like a low tire pressure warning light on the dash, and it's like that's not why you crashed. You
That's
crashed
not.
because it's too much car for you.
Dude, okay, this is we're, as we said before, we're old. Well, we're older, right? I know my limit and I play within it, as the Ontario Lottery often says. I am not going to push beyond what I feel safe doing, and I think that that's because my brain is developed. And I wonder, it's not really meant to be an insult, but it kind of is. It's like, I think younger guys who get this kind of access to this kind of thing, they're just stupid. Because think about people who don't have access to those kinds of cars. Like,
Yeah.
insurance is more expensive for you as a young person, not because it's fun. It's because they genuinely do more stupid shit.
Yeah, I think part of it is like as a trust fund kid, or at least like the stereotypical type of trust fund kid, it's like there's enough money in your life to where you've never really had to face the consequences of that sort of stuff.
Yeah.
Because it's like, oh, you crashed the car, well, we'll just go buy another one and we'll keep paying for your insurance. Where like people that aren't a trust fund kid, it's like, well, fucking guess who's taking the bus now?
Yeah. I mean, even if you have insurance, like once it gets paid out,
And
I
they don't
promise
have
your
the
parents are not
lawyers to
buying
get them
another
out of the lawsuits or anything
No.
either.
one. No, 100% they're not. It's I think that's the problem is like I just when I was young I did dumb stuff and then I grew out of it, and I think these kids are making mistakes and getting access to stuff they really shouldn't have. If that were me, my kid would
Yeah, it's
never be
like the
driving my Pagani.
ceiling for dumb stuff is a lot higher
Yeah, 100%.
because they have the finances to not have to be accountable for more than the average person.
Yeah, I mean I was gonna say earlier, like even now, like being the age that I am at, having like I was lucky enough to drive the late model Gallardo, and I will say in the like when they're like, yeah, hit it, I'm like, cool, scared the shit out of me because that's like high 500s, right? Like and it's going to
Yeah, it's mid fives.
mid fives.
I think.
That's almost double the power that's actually going to the ground compared to my Golf R. So
Yeah.
like it's scary, man. Like I'm not like that's that now definitely the fastest car I've ever driven, and like imagine now being that's what skill I do have. Imagine being 18 and being handed the keys to something with close to double that power with the fucking Pagani and being like, "Here you go, son. I trust you."
With your less developed brain.
Yeah, with your goblin brain. Like you don't know.
Because like, let's be honest, that if we were handed the keys to a fucking Pagani at 18, like I'm gonna fucking floor it.
Oh yeah. I'm going to floor it now.
I don't have the self control at
No.
18 to not think I know what I'm doing.
No, but you know what it is? I think that we at this age would floor it still, but I think we would be like, all right, there's a long straight road, there's no cars around, this is a safe environment, and I'm not going to even go, I'm going to go 70% and I'm going to be happy. But like at 18, if I was given the keys to move a Pagani even, let alone drive a Pagani, I'm going to do some silly shit, you know? Like I'm going to it's just the nature of the age, but that doesn't mean that you get away with your mistakes. Like it doesn't mean that you're not held responsible. Because I never crashed a Pagani, so I'm better than you. That's basically what it boils down to.
Yeah.
He posts
that's
a lot
part
of
of the
garbage.
reason why I don't or can't own a bike. I personally don't think I have the self control to not do stupid shit on a leader bike.
Yeah, fully. I'm right with you. I'm right with you.
Because like you can buy, and I mean we were talking about this before we started the podcast, but you can buy like an old GSXR 1000 or even like an old S1000 RR or Hayabusa or something for not very much money at all.
Yep.
And these are like 180, 190 mile an hour bikes.
No, they're
like less than the price of a used Corolla in some cases.
Less than the price of a G35.
Yeah.
Yeah. And
Like
you can get your license.
Like I fully admit that even today I don't think I have the self-control to not do stupid shit on one of those.
No, I don't. And I will say we wanted to touch on this. There is some understanding of what it's like to be a motorcycle, what I call a psycho. And there's a lot of them out there. We've talked about this. Like there's a certain like kind of person that is attracted to these things, is attracted to bikes, and then they get a helmet on their face so you can't see their face, so they feel like protected, and then they go out and I don't know, just decide that they want to smash your side mirror because you didn't let them split lanes even though it's illegal in your state or province or something like that, and you're like, man, fuck you. And then they post it as if they're in the right.
Or they're trying to split lanes at like 2.5 times the speed limit.
Yeah. Oh yeah, big time. And then are surprised. This is the thing. If it is legal and you are doing it, that's fine. But there's still a certain thing of like, this might be legal, but it's probably not safe. And then you're shocked when something goes wrong.
I don't have an issue with lane splitting personally, but it's like lane splitting, like traffic is at a standstill and you're doing like 10 or 5 in between the cars because you fit and there's enough room. Or like there's a little bit of traffic and you get like a clear shot and maybe you can go slightly above the speed limit between some cars. But like the lane splitting we're talking about here is like they're passing you on the right between cars at like 190 to 200 kilometers an hour and you're doing like 110 to 120.
Yeah, well no, even the better shit is like you're in heavy traffic and they're just going like they're doing almost 200 or like 100.
Yeah.
you know.
Or like flooring it on the shoulder.
Yeah. And they're like, oh, I needed to get around you, bro. No, you fucking didn't. I don't know.
And then like they'll get mad at other people for being in their way.
Yeah.
But it's like a lot of times with that, it's like, you know, like you're closing in at twice the speed limit. Like by the time somebody like signals, looks in their mirror and starts changing lanes, that space is gone.
Yeah.
Because they're not expecting you to be doing twice the speed limit.
I'm always I want to make
Most
this.
people can't really judge speed when they're looking in their mirrors.
No, but even if they
just
can,
see shit.
Even if they can, they're not going to then like, okay, well, he's obviously about 600 feet away from me, and he's traveling at a like. It's not going to happen. Like, what are you expecting out of these people? These people don't even know what a clutch is. They don't know that a car actually has a battery in it.
Well, I mean, like I feel like even us, like we're probably not looking in the mirror like, oh, he's 500 feet away. He's going to be this, but we're probably looking in the mirror like, oh, he's on a bike.
Yeah.
I probably shouldn't change lanes right now.
I will kind of gaze a little longer when I do see someone who is clearly yee-heeing. Which is, look, I yee-hee sometimes, Nick yee-hee sometimes. Yeah. That's fine. We do that shit. But it's just they do it for an extended period, and that's when you get hurt. Like, that's what it is. And I will make a point of not changing lanes. Yeah, like you said, like I'm going to remain the speed I'm going, and it's not because I care about you. I just don't want to be responsible for somebody's death. That's the way that I think about it. And even that I'm not responsible, but I don't want to be a factor in it. So all I'm saying is, it also, like,
I mean, then like it's not only just being a factor, and it's like then you have to, you're part of the whole investigation process, and now it's like, are you a suspect?
Yeah, well,
no, I was literally just driving. Yeah, I mean, it all comes down to what we said earlier: one crime at a time.
One crime at a time. Yeah.
One crime at a time.
You can lane split, but you can't be speeding.
Yes.
That's words to live by. One crime at a time.
Yeah. Or you can speed, but you're not lane splitting.
Yeah. I mean, that's the deal.
One crime at a time.
You can pass on the right. But you can't fucking split lanes on the right. Like, I'm not even paying. I don't even know you're here. I'm gonna move to the right, and I'm gonna kill both of us. Like, sometimes I see cars doing stupid shit, and I would never do this, but I see cars doing stupid shit, and sometimes I think about, like, Shoji Shingoing at them from Initial D. For those who don't know, fucking tries to end a race in a double crash by crashing into his opponent. And I'm just thinking to myself sometimes, like, oh, if I just let them make the mistake, I could just get out of this Golf R, insurance will pay out, like, I'll probably live, and they'll be at fault. And then I go, don't do it to him. Don't do it to him. It's not worth it.
I think about that in the Vibe sometimes.
You would never do it in a good car? Not in the MR2. That I understand, but the Supra, no?
No, I don't think I'd do it in a good car.
Hmm.
In the Vibe, maybe.
Hmm.
I'd do it in, like, anything I considered a daily.
Yeah. Yeah, okay.
Is when the thought sort of creeps to the front of my head, where it's like,
I could take both
like,
of us out.
If somebody's trying to, like, and it's one of my peeves, but it's like, you're on the highway, you're driving on the highway, you're in the right lane, and then somebody's like coming down the on-ramp to get on the highway, and they're just like keeping pace with you side by side and like looking at you like, when are you gonna move?
Yeah.
To let me in. And it's like, that is literally not my job.
I tried to get on, I was speeding up, and this guy was like speeding up. And I'm like, are you now I know the Golf is a little faster, but like I'm starting from a slower speed. So I'm like, okay, so then I slam on my brakes to go, and he slams on his brakes. And I'm like, you piece of shit, he ran me off the road, basically. And then he's like, oh, you can see him there, and like, I'm like, what, you didn't know this was happening? Fuck you. Like, holy shit.
Yeah, like, for me, it's like, it says, I'm pretty sure it says this, it said it in my driver's handbook, but it's like, the people who are on the highway have the right of way. It is your job getting on. Now, I'm not saying you made a mistake.
No, I'm not.
Because that guy was probably going to be like, oh, I'm gonna speed up so this guy can get in behind me. But like, he's not supposed to do that. You're just supposed to maintain your speed and let the traffic merge in.
Yeah, that's.
But in the same vein, if you are the person coming onto the highway from the on-ramp, you can't expect people to get out of the way for you. It is your job to get on the highway.
No, and I don't. I always see what's going on. I go, where can I slot myself in? How fast do I need to speed up or slow down or whatever? I could conceivably get in front of him, but then he started speeding up. And I'm like, why is this motherfucker speeding up? So, anyway.
I also feel like that's something a lot of people don't really do when they're getting on the highway. Is like, when I'm getting on the highway, I'm not focusing so much on like making the turn for like the like, not the U-turn, but like the full turn to go around down the on-ramp. I'm like almost always looking at the highway, and it's like, all right, where am I going to end up? Try and figure out how I'm going to merge. Where I feel like most people just look in front of them, and it's not until they're on that last like 150 feet of on-ramp are they like, oh, okay, now I need to figure out how I'm getting on the highway.
I have one more. Actually, it's funny that you're reminding me. On the same night that I was almost, my life was almost ended before Easter, there was another incident on the highway that upset me greatly, and I took a mature approach to it. So,
how do you?
It's not that mature. Don't get ahead of yourself. I was traveling north on the very same stretch of highway on the 427. And there I was in the left. I was going up. It's not that important, but like 3 lanes. I'm in the left. I'm going for it because for some reason everybody's doing under the speed limit, and it's loose, very loose traffic, so I'm fine. And the left lane is clear. I am admittedly going quite fast. I will not say how fast I was going, but quite fast. Okay? A gentleman, I assume, and I would later confirm, a gentleman of dubious nature in a Honda Civic cuts into the left lane as I'm approaching at a rate of speed that is higher than the speed limit. And he's barely touching 100. I'm flying up the left lane to get around a group of cars that are going under the speed limit, and he's cut in to the left. I had to slam hard on my brakes. I almost hit him. And so I feel justified in giving him a little high beam tap, because you can't just fucking do that. He proceeds to start slowing down as if he wants to stop me. So I'm like, okay, oh no, sorry. He puts on his flasher, his like hazards, and then turns them off and then proceeds to slow down as if like he's going to meter me. Not a good start. So I rip around him because I'm now aggravated. And I just want to get away from him, because why is this crazy person now slowing down? I think that's reasonable. So again, I touch high rates of speed getting off the highway. And where that exit is, it becomes a city. So it's a big highway off-ramp that turns into a city road. So I'm doing, again, very high rate of speed. Who do I see trying desperately to catch up behind me but the headlights of a Honda Civic? And I'm like, no fucking way is this guy mad at me that he's coming up on me. So already you've almost killed me. You've tried to stop me for some reason, like you're going to do a citizen's arrest. On the highway, in the left lane, no less. And now you're coming at me as if I've done something wrong to you. Great start. So I'm like, okay, I'm not slowing down. This was highly illegal moves. So I'm like, I'm just going to stay in it. I'm just going to stay in it, because you know what? I think, and this is going to sound like a cop-out, Nick, and I promise it's not. I know you're going to think it is. But to me, the idea of a person who's so deluded that they try to stop you on the highway, and then when you try to get away from them, they're chasing you to catch up, that's not a sane person. That is maybe possibly a dangerous individual. I don't want to be around you, because the next step is you hit my car, I think. You're going to hit me to stop me or something like that. And then tell the cops that, like, I had to stop him because he was crazy. And then really, you're crazy. So I'm like, I'm going to stay in it. Sorry?
Oh, I said, it'll be something if it's...
Something like that.
They're not potentially crazy. They're just going to try and get beside you and yell at you. But anyways, continue.
Thank you. So it's not that much more interesting, but I'm like, okay, the speed limit has dropped to 80, and I'm well into impound territory, let's call it, allegedly. And I'm like, I should probably slow down. So I ease off I'm still above the limit, but I'm like, I'm going to ease off so that if there is a police officer, and there often are here, I don't go to jail tonight. So I ease off. He doesn't. And he rips past me, and he cuts in. He comes right up onto my bumper, flashes his high beams like 10 times. I'm like, this dude's going to kill me. So I rip around the car in front of me, and then that gap closes. So I'm like, okay, I've got space. He goes all the way on the outside, passes on the fucking shoulder to get in front of me, starts slowing down again, and fucking does his flashers again. And then I'm like, nah, and I just rip a right immediately. I like rip to the right, and I rip right down the street. I'm like, I'm not getting involved, and he just keeps going. He was not expecting it. That is a crazy person. That is a crazy person.
Agree.
I am fully justified. And if the Toronto Police Department is listening for some fucking reason, I know my rights. Okay.
Yeah, like while you may have allegedly been going above the speed limit on the highway at the beginning, he did still cut in front of you, which technically puts him in the wrong.
Yes.
Because, like everybody says it, left lane is for passing, and you were technically doing some passing.
I was doing some passing. The thing, okay, I know I was going a little fast. I acknowledge, look, we speed, we do so in a generally safe way where, like, it's a little fast, nobody's in the lane. I wouldn't do this if it was heavy traffic. We don't swim. That's gross. But to then, like, start following me and try to stop me, you're way more deluded than I am. Hands down.
Civic.
Yeah, sorry?
I said in a Civic. To think you could do it in a Civic.
Well, like in it's like a I guess 11th gen like base Civic.
Yeah, but it's like still a Civic.
No,
Fuck
I
off.
know, but that's the thing. It's really, I never understood it until I got a car that's like reasonably quick now. Like where it's like I see him trying to catch up, and I'm like, bye. Like it's.
Isn't that like a really good feeling? Like
it feels really
like
good.
when you're in it and somebody else is but like you're widening the gap.
Yeah, like
isn't that like
quickly.
a really nice? Isn't that like a really nice feeling?
It's like it's one okay.
Like when you're
it surprises
when you're
people
putting
too.
bus legs on someone.
Yeah, no, like
I like that.
It's a good fucking feeling, but it's also like way earlier when I was talking about like passing those people on the right because they were like so slow. It still surprises me sometimes, like how quickly it'll like be in boost and moving.
Talking about like a 300 and something horsepower Golf here too.
Yeah,
It's like, and it's like it's not that like I'm out here racing people, but it's like those people, like the ones that think they have something to prove, and you're like, no, I'm gonna show you.
that's you.
It's like the putting them where they belong aspect of it.
What's the teaching them a lesson?
I like that.
Like that's what it is.
Yeah.
Because it's I get it now. I will say I wish it was a little flashier, but in those moments I fully understand the Golf R because it's like it's the old dog that's gonna teach the young dog he needs to fucking learn. You know what I mean? You gotta give him a slap, right? It's understated. If you didn't see the little R badge, you wouldn't know. You know, or the quad tips if you're learned. It's just such a good fucking feeling, and like it spins up so fast, and these people who are blocking the two left lanes like assholes, like you can kind of sometimes I'll look over and I'll see their shocked face because it's just blah, like it's just gone, you know.
Yeah, and it like we don't have the fastest cars on the planet, but it's like we're faster, you know, like a Golf R or a Supra or whatever. Faster than probably like 95% of what's out there.
Yeah.
And like we're smart enough to like pick our moments, I guess. Like you know, like if somebody in like I don't fucking know, just for example, if somebody in like, you know, in M5 or Huracan or something is doing that, it's like fuck it, I'm not going to win this one, he can go. But it's always somebody in like a Dodge Ram or Civic or like a van, and it's like, oh, you're going to be put in your
Dodge
place.
Ram is my favorite. Like, I haven't gotten to personally clap one yet, but just I see them and I'm like, oh, one day one of you will wrong me, and I'm gonna put
my favorite are the lifted diesel trucks because they always have something to prove. and they're always modified and really loud, and it's like you can hear them failing behind you.
I love that. The rolling coal. How about you roll some horsepower, my friend?
And it's like you see all the fucking black smoke because they're always tuned shittily and rolling coal.
Yeah.
And it's like all that smoke, and you're just
nothing.
walking away.
You're proving nothing.
Yeah, like they're sitting still.
No, it's just a little. It's a little mental vacation. But you know what? Too, it's like okay, the cars are relatively. It used to be once upon a time to get that experience, right? Of just here I go, I'm gone, right? That's what we're saying. Like cars have gotten so much faster. Supra does that from the factory, right? Golf R does that from the factory.
From the factory.
Yeah. But the MR2 took a little bit to get to that, right? That's kind of like we're beyond that era a little bit. But that car's better.
But like even the MR2, like a lot of it in the MR2's case is it's a weight thing. Like that car's pretty light, so the 300 wheel or whatever goes a little farther than it otherwise would. But like it took work to get there out of the box. It's nowhere near that fast.
You know what I like? You go ahead.
Like you can literally just go buy a Golf R today and do what you're doing.
Yeah, you can go buy a Supra. Just do it. Just hit the just
and then
put it down.
Like a little metal pipe and an email tune, and you're doing it even faster.
Dude, that's what I was about to say. You can just $600 and here you are. Like you don't even, in my case, you don't even need the pipe. You could get one, get a little more, but like you don't even need the pipe. Like just like 400 horsepower.
The amount of power that modern turbo cars can conjure up from a tube and an email attachment is insane.
Dude, this is okay. There's a little, we'll touch on this, and then we wanted to talk about maintenance items, but I wanted to touch on this. I will say that I think the Golf R, because we had a discussion when I was buying my car, and I said, well, what about a GTI? Because they're more affordable, and like you could tune it, and then you're like, the Golf R is better in every way. And I'm like, I know you're right, and you are, right? But like, to me, the Golf R, there's no chase. Like, there's no chase left. Like, it's what, minus the 4-wheel drive system, obviously. It's what a GTI hopes to be. You know what I mean? With an email tune and a downpipe.
Yeah, like my thing has always been like, if you need one car and it's your one car to do everything, then you get the Golf R because it's faster, it's a bit sportier, it's got all-wheel drive, it's a better everyday car. If you have a weekend car, you get the GTI because then you just need something that's more just daily and some fun.
Yeah.
So you don't need all the extra stuff that the R has because you have the extra fun in your weekend car.
Yeah. But this is what I'm saying. I think I can see the appeal. Like if I were to do it again, I would still like to try buying a GTI because I think you can have more fun modifying it and not spend too much money modifying it and get like a lot of good results so you can feel good about it, right? Like email tune, downpipe, the exhausts are half the price of the Golf R. Like you get a manual or a DSG, whatever. Like there's no 4-wheel drive, you're always going to spin, but like there's more chase. There's more of a path to like do stuff. And then you could slap an IS38 from a Golf R on. Now you're making tons of power that you can't fucking put down. But all I'm saying is there's more chase. But this is a more complete car. Excuse me, and I'm very happy with it. So basically, it's a Curbrash thank you to Nick for not letting me buy a GTI. So
and not letting you buy a Volvo because you almost did that. I
still think I would have had a good time. It's just like I think I just want a station wagon, but I don't want to spend AMG or RS6 money on a station wagon.
If only we got the Golf R wagon that they did in Europe.
I just don't think it's as attractive. I'll be honest. Like I look at it and I'm like, oh, one day I don't really think it's that attractive. Like I think it looks weird.
There's always the what we were looking at it just the other week, the Focus
Fiesta. Or no, Ford Focus, yeah, the Focus. When those new ones in 10 years, when those new ones are legal, oh buddy, like that shit is primo. Like if you haven't, go look up look up 2022 Focus ST wagon from England. Oh shit, buddy.
Well, just Europe in general.
Oh yeah, Europe in general.
It's a European market car.
So
you can probably import one from Germany, left-hand drive.
That's the play, man.
A lot of the engine parts and stuff will be the same as the EcoBoosts that we got here. So
you think it'll be the same?
They're probably one of the things that like you could feasibly import and like drive every day.
Yeah, 100%.
You might have to keep some maintenance stuff on hand, but it wouldn't be like owning an exotic.
No, I don't think so at all. I mean, like that's yeah, I think that's gonna be a good. But also the Buick Regal, they had that hot version that made like 300 something
Yeah, the
horsepower.
GS.
The GS didn't make that in a wagon, so we didn't get the Buick Regal in Canada. I think.
We did.
We did. Okay, did we get the GS in
Yep.
Canada?
Yep.
Okay, not a lot of them for sale then, because I've been looking.
No, they did. They sold. They're Buicks. They all sell fucking horribly
Yeah,
here.
it's just to keep China
Very
happy.
popular in China.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But they never did a GS wagon, which is frustrating because I think the Buick Regal wagon is actually one of the more attractive modern wagons, and it's a shame. That's a shame because you could probably
see you
swap
in a
it.
CTSV wagon.
Yeah, but that's just the Arab Haji, like fucking white BMW, like spec, like pop culture.
Dracar Noir, white
Yeah.
suit.
Actually, I think they've moved on to Paco Rabanne Million. My dad loves that shit.
Oh Jesus. Okay.
Yeah, but yeah, to your point, yeah, like I guess I could see that. It's yeah, I don't know. I have a fondness for wagons, but all the good ones are either not new enough to kind of be feasible daily, or they're
Or they're an STI hatch, and who wants to own a used one of those?
yeah. I mean, they're all clap from factory, my friend. The WRXs too. I would own one, but do you know how many times I would look them up when I was like, I think it was either after the FRS or just before it, and you would see them being like 2012 WRX, new motor dropped in my Subaru, 98,000 kilometers. It's like, so it blows up immediately. Just that's the one I'd buy, the one that got a new crate motor from Subaru.
Yeah. Well, I mean, like that's how people do them a lot of the times. Like the short blocks from Subaru are like, they're not cheap, but they're like surprisingly cheap.
They're in
Like
the
you can
realm
get
of
like
reason.
a brand new like 2018 plus short block from Subaru for like $5,500.
Yeah. I mean, it's you buy
That's
a
hard.
blown one. Yeah, you could do it. I think they're. I think that if they brought the what did they do in Japan, the Lavorg hatch, and then they did in Mexico the WRX hatch. If they brought that, I think the WRX would have sold a lot better, personally, because it looks way better,
Yeah.
and you still get the powertrain. But I think it's CVT only in Mexico. So.
I think it's CVT only everywhere
Yeah. Okay. Fair enough.
right now.
It's not even I drive an auto, but it's not a CVT. Fucking hate CVTs. Gross. Maintenance. We wanted to talk about maintenance. Probably a good place to jump on to maintenance. So I just did some maintenance today.
Yeah.
The DSG service. I didn't know had to happen, and then I looked it up, and it was like now, and I was like, oh, well. So
Like you looked it up online and they were like, yeah, you're supposed to do it at this mileage, and you were
yeah,
like,
at the exact mileage that I'm at. So I'm like, oh, all right. So that's $450, but you know, whatever. It's done by a reputable shop. I'm happy with the service. They're good guys. So, having a funny sound. Oh, so I'll recap. But I've been saying there's a funny sound coming from my rear left brake caliper, like squeak, like as if it like the squealer is.
was it on like the wear indicator?
It might be. So they didn't find anything. It's intermittent as well, and I find that it's when the car is warm that I notice it. So I'm thinking that it's brake hardware. Nick, how many times have I complained about fucking brake hardware?
You can't escape the brake hardware apparently.
No, I can't.
That's like your curse is the brake hardware.
Yeah,
Because it was the rear brakes on the FRS too.
Yep, it's. I didn't even service the car, man. Like when it was me, it was kind of one thing. I'd be like, well, I must have done a bad job installing the brakes. Nope, like just the curse. So.
Is it only it's squeaking under braking only?
Under braking, after it's gotten hot. So my feeling is that
I wonder
maybe
if it's like the shims on the back of the pads or something have worked their way a little loose.
I think that's probably what it is. Either way, it's not the pads and rotors, but if like I looked also, I was kind of looking to see if there's any like intense like striations and stuff on the actual rotor, because that would be pretty clear if like something was rubbing. Nothing. So not sure. Probably gonna have to pull it apart or get the shop to pull it apart because I don't really want
Let's
to
be honest,
do
you're
it.
gonna get the shop to pull it apart. You're not
Yeah, I
pulling
kind
it.
of wish they'd done it today, but it is what it is. I just
You're
don't
not
give that
you're
much.
not touching brakes again because of
Yeah,
past
it's a
experiences.
little bit PTSD. Also, like I think you have to release the electronic parking brake with a computer, like with a tablet or something, to get to do the brakes on the Golf. So classic.
I mean, like that's most electronic parking brake cars in general. Like the Supra, I have to do it through like the Beamer Link app.
Yeah,
There's like a button for like rear brake service mode or whatever the fuck you want to call it.
yeah. So I double don't want to do that. Um,
Yeah.
I'll probably just like they charge like $180 to do like the general like service like when they install your brakes. So if it's that just to fix
You could
this
probably
issue,
ask them like just to focus on that one corner and be like, "Hey, can you just, maybe take it apart, check it out, and like re-grease the pads?" Because
yeah,
like they put between the like the piston and the
hmm,
shim on the pad. Could just ask them to do that.
yeah, it's a weird, very specific
Because
issue.
because like if they take it apart, that'll let them like reseat everything.
Yeah,
And the
I
grease
might,
is there, not there. It's not just for heat transfer, but it also kind of holds the pad to the piston when
yeah,
it's moving back when you let go of the brake.
I might grab
So
some brake
probably worth it.
hardware as well because I've had very good luck, I will say, with the like really nice stuff that you'll get at like if you're like I just need hardware and you go to an auto parts store, you'll get like some stuff that's made of like a I don't know even what to call the material, but it's like a coated thing. It's really nice. Like Carlson
Like
is the
zinc
company that
coated.
makes it. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's like a black finish. I don't know what to call it. But anyway, so that's fun. And then yeah, transmission service. So that's done. So I'm ready for the season, as the kids call it. Well, the brake thing. Whatever. Fuck it. I'm gonna be loud. I don't know. I don't have time to go back. I really don't. So we'll figure it out. What about you? You've got so many things on the docket.
I do. So Supra goes in tomorrow. That's just a general yearly service. I think this year I've had the car for 2 years, so this would be a service number two. But it's basically just an inspection, an oil change, and then I asked them to do the cabin filter and the windshield wipers. Because I
Right.
mean, if it's going to be there already, then they can replace the wipers. Why am I going to do it?
Right.
Um, Plus, they're because they're 2 years old now. They're starting to get like streaky and dragging across the windshield. So it's time, even though it's only a summer car. Um, and then I'll probably try and find. And they're doing my rear parking sensor finally.
Oh yes, that came loose all on its own.
Yeah, the one that came loose and definitely made contact with no knees whatsoever.
Mm-hmm.
So that's gonna get done. That's about it for the Super. I'll see if maybe this weekend I can find some time to wash it for the first time this year because it's got some crap on it from all the rain. Um,
Yeah.
this weekend I'm also gonna try and swap the tires on the STI to the Summers, and that also needs to be
A little
cleaned
late there.
inside and out.
It's a little.
Well, it was still kind of cold last week, some days,
Mm, yeah, I guess
and
that's true.
last weekend I just didn't have the time, so I'll try and do it this weekend. And yeah, that one's got to be cleaned inside and out, get all the winter salt stains and shit out of it, put the summer mats back in.
Right.
Um, probably check the oil quickly just to see if it needs to be topped up or anything. And then the big one is the MR2. That is
Yeah, that's the
next
fun.
weekend.
Mm-hmm.
That's going into the shop for timing belt, water pump, valve stem seals, a bunch of other oil seals that are just in and around. Basically everything that's like while you're in there, because the valve stem seals and timing belt are pretty invasive procedures to begin with. So I was
Right.
basically just like, fuck it, while I'm in there, everything.
If you ever
I even
buy one of Nick's cars, he's the correct person to buy it from because he does everything.
Yeah, I mean, I'm also doing new sway bar end links and top hats for my coilovers because it's only happening on my right rear, but every time I'm pulling out of the garage, and it's only for the first like very small bump at the end of my driveway, and then it's fine. But I hear like a popping sound, and I feel like that's coming from either the bearing in the top hat
Hmm.
binding or the sway bar end link. So I'm just replacing them both on all four corners because why not?
Yep. Fair play. Fair play.
Um, And then that car, I also have to get a new battery for it this year, so I'll probably stop at Costco at some point, grab a Kirkland.
So you just do it on the timing for the battery, because I literally am just like, until the battery stops functioning, I think is basically my go-to.
Yeah, because like what's happened to me in the past, in the MR2 specifically, is originally I had a really old battery in there, and over the winter one year when it was in storage, the battery exploded and it
Huh.
fired the caps into the hood, and made two pretty decent dents actually. So ever since then, I just replace the battery every 5 to 6 years.
Right. I think I'm on year 6 right now, actually. I think the battery's the original that came with my car. So uh, I'll think about it in the next year, probably. Yeah.
Yeah, so it's just time for that car, but yeah, it's getting the big service, and then they're gonna fucking hate me for it, but it's the only way I could really keep track of everything. But I have like, or maybe they won't hate. I don't know if you're a shop, let me know if you like or don't like this kind of stuff because I have no idea. But I have like a printout, and then on the printout is like all the part numbers for all the parts that I've included for the service. Because
Mm,
like I bought all new like OEM Toyota parts for everything except for the suspension, which I bought like the aftermarket stuff that I need. And because there's so many services, I literally just started making a list to make sure I had all the part numbers and everything. And I figure I'll just give that to them so they know what's there, because otherwise it's just a big fucking box of parts.
they
Um,
definitely. It's
they're
probably
definitely
double
going to
edged.
think I'm a little bit autistic,
Yeah, I mean, I would too, but I
and
think
that's okay.
it's better to do that than not to do that, right?
Yeah, and then like it's also like the same sheet where like I put where I want what I want my alignment specs to be, because that way they just have it all there and they can do it instead of having to like call me and be like, hey, what do you want done for your alignment? It's all there for you.
This. What do you want? That. Do that.
Yeah.
No, I
So
would
yeah.
respect it, but I can see how it gets annoying, because there's definitely people who come in probably who believe they know things and know how to do wrenching, let's say, and then they buy the wrong parts.
Yeah,
They,
and like I understand, and I mean, like I do know wrenching and I do know what I'm doing. I
of
just don't
course.
have the time to do it until like August, but I want to be able to drive the car before August. But in the same vein, it's not like I'm going there to be a shitty customer. It's just like I know and have all this, so maybe it'll be helpful to you too. So take it.
Yeah,
Like I'm not going to be up their ass about everything
fully. Yeah.
or anything like that. It's just here. I hope it makes your life easier.
I'm on board with that. I just know that, like, not that it's their fault, but like the shops get a little presumptuous, like, oh, this fucking guy, because they sure they have bad customers come in with bad parts.
Oh,
And
I'm I'm
yeah,
I'm I'm 100% sure. But I
yeah,
I do have like somewhat of a past relationship with the shop and the owner, so like they do know me. Like I'm not just walking in as someone new off the street saying, "Here's a fucking box of parts and all the part numbers."
yeah.
So like I
No,
feel like there is a level of understanding there, but like yeah, I totally understand from their perspective.
yeah. I mean, it is what it is. I mean, like, I think it's for any industry. It's just more prominent in this one because it's expensive. The stuff we do is expensive, and people are like, "Oh, I could go buy the parts myself." You, we'll end on this. But you ever seen those videos of some guy who's like, "I got the cheat code for car parts. Go on this site called Rock Auto, and shit's way cheap there." And it's like, it doesn't just work like that,
Yeah,
man.
and it's like I guess this is me trying to justify it, but it's like I'm not doing it because I got the cheapest parts available. Like it's literally all OEM Toyota.
No, no,
So like
I'm with
I
you.
know it's gonna work and fit.
Mm-hmm.
But I do understand from there because yes, I'm sure there's lots of people that are like, why is this so expensive? I can get this for $50 from the other guy, and it's like, no, you fucking can't.
Even if you can, it's like about, like, okay, you have to order the right parts. You have to make sure that they fit, and sometimes they send the wrong parts. Is the funny thing. So like, you might order the correct thing and get the wrong thing, and then you're at the shop and your car's on the fucking hoist, and they open up your box and they're like, "Oh, that's funny. It's a 4 fucking lug rotor, and this is a fucking 5 lug fucking car." And then you're like, "Oh, oops." Then the shop is stuck.
Yeah. So like yeah, like I totally get it. Like I'm just doing it because there's so many parts, and
No, I
I
agree
feel
with
like
you.
it's like a Lego aspect to it. It's like, oh, I can. This is the part number for this. Oh, here it is in the box. Okay, as opposed to them having to like look up what each individual. They probably like you can eyeball most of it, but
No, no, fully. I agree with you. I know
it'll
that you're doing it in a good way. I'm just saying, I'm sure, like, when people are like, oh, why are they like that? It's because people do stupid shit.
yeah,
People will buy.
just like in the same vein, like when I was booking everything, I was like, I don't really care how long it takes. Like take the time you need to do it. Just all I care is that it's done properly. So, if that means it's higher than what you're quoting me, I don't care. I will pay. Like I'm not going to argue with you on it.
Yeah. No,
All I care about is quality.
that's exactly why when I'm like, this noise is annoying me now, I'm like, I understand I have to pay. I just want you to fix it. Right? Like, just,
Yeah.
I don't like it. Now, conceivably, a metal shim is not going to ruin my life or anything like that. It's going to be really annoying. It, I don't think it has enough, but like, the point is, like, I don't like it, so please fix. Oh shit! Please fix it. Just, I'm so animated, I smack my microphone. Please
Yeah.
fix it. So, yeah.
Yeah, like
Just
in my case it's a bit more, and like if the job is done wrong, the motor
explodes.
could potentially blow.
Yeah.
So, that's why I was like, just doing it properly and quality is the important thing here.
Number
So
one
if
item here.
you need to take your time or you need more time, like just take it. I will pay. Just take it. Just do it well.
I have money. Please. No, I'm fully with you, and I think I've. Last thing, I think that I've definitely also just graduated from the mindset of like doing it the cheapest possible way. I think that was what spawned me working on my own cars. Is like, well, I was younger, I didn't have a ton of money. That's definitely a good motivator. But
Yeah.
and I think you kind of have said the same thing. Like you do the mechanical work when you need to because you're like, I can't afford to just throw all my money at it, and also I want to drive it. So like I must do the mechanical work. Like this, I
Yeah,
do
so
this
it's
so I
like
can
it's
drive
like
it.
this yeah, so like this year it's the balance of like I don't really have time to do it until this date, but because of what's wrong with it currently, like the oil leaks and stuff, I don't really want to drive it until it's fixed.
Yeah.
So I'd rather just pay somebody to do it and be able to drive the car sooner rather than, wait until, July, August when I can get around to it.
Yeah. No, that's and even like in the past we've talked about like why people there's some people that all they want to do is wrench. They like to tinker. That's their thing. But
Yeah.
there's some people like me. I don't like it. I mean, it might be again with a project where I don't have to go to work in the morning. It might be a little bit different, but because we said before, you
Yeah,
could
like
just stop when you're pissed.
exactly. Like I don't mind wrenching. But like in this instance it's like I've waited 7 months
Yeah,
with this car in storage. I want to just be able to drive it.
fully. Yeah,
So
fully.
if I have to leave it with somebody for a week or 2 weeks to do the big job instead of having to let the car sit for another 4 or 5 months, then that's fine. I'll eat that cost
No,
to be
that's
able to drive the car more.
yep. I'll work on my laptop in your waiting room so that you can take care of this thing, because I can't just leave the car. Unfortunately, like you have to make the sacrifices monetarily and time wise. But yeah.
Yeah.
Well, probably a good place to end. If you don't know, we're on Instagram, and at some point I will likely upload to our TikTok account that is dormant, but we'll let you know when that happens. If you would prefer to listen to us on Spotify, we are available there. Although, technically speaking, this is the better experience because you'll have all the links in the description and all that fun stuff. So until next time, hopefully you're able to put up with us. Goodbye, viewer. Goodbye, one guy.